Hello YouTube, Damo_23 here, and welcome back to another episode on the YouTube channel. In today's video, we finally get to discuss a green arrow as we move back inside the top 50k. We also have to discuss a few decisions that went against me this week, and if they went for me, we could have had a monstrous green arrow. We'll also be discussing that there is a bit of an earlier game week deadline and my planned moves moving forward using Fantasy Football Hub. But without further ado, give the episode a like, do subscribe to the YouTube channel if you are new around here. And there is a link down in the YouTube channel to a playlist where you can document and have a look at all my moves from game week 1 up until game week 14. And of course, beyond. Let's have a look at the points, those 64 points. I mentioned in the last video where I filmed about the goalkeepers. They are poor yet again, but I will be discussing goalkeepers in today's video because there has been some injuries that might give us some gems of keepers moving forward. So Areola with 2, Turner got 0. Trippier and Tsimikas both returned. Tsimikas did concede 3, but luckily to return. Arguably could have been a foul. I am a Liverpool fan. I have seen them given. I'm glad it wasn't. What a finish from Trent. Yes, Trent's amazing, and that's why you pay the premium if you own Trent. But Trippier getting a 12-pointer kind of tells you that you're pretty happy with Trips as well. I'm going to discuss Cash in a second. Obviously, Taylor, second on the bench, and a 10-pointer. Son, Gordon, Mbeumo, and Salah all contributing. If you did watch the Liverpool game, you know Salah's 10-pointer there as captain could have been so much more. Darwin missing 2 chances that he should have scored to give Salah 2 times assists, which could have been something like a 15-pointer, and this game week could have been so much better. Haaland with a 7-pointer, you know, standard usual. He did miss an open goal, which would have hurt my ranks. I'm glad he did, and he obviously had the potential to have an assist wiped away because of some poor refereeing. Darwin Núñez, the man that I get excited by the most watching Liverpool at times, and the man that makes me want to pull my hair out when it comes to Fantasy Premier League. A man that on a different day could have had a brace, maybe even a hat-trick, could have even had a assist as well. A man that if he finishes a couple of those chances, doesn't only get good returns for himself, but gives my captain some big returns, and it would have been massive. I'm going to speak about, obviously, the big one that hurt. This is not the first time I have had a bench defender go crazy. Even though I was a Liverpool fan, we did bench Guehi. We did bench Tsimikas a couple of weeks ago when he got his massive call for Guehi. And that was more because I thought we would concede against Mbeumo and Brentford, and Guehi would keep a clean sheet. None of that happened. And this week, I went Cash over Taylor to go for, I thought, what was a better fixture for Aston Villa. Cash didn't look good. Obviously, he got a 1-pointer where Mr. Taylor looked fantastic. Yes, I know Sheffield went down to 10 men. However, it is what it is. You know, I think if you're a brave manager, you would have played Taylor over Cash. And if I just do that one move, I get 9 more points. I'm on 73, and all of a sudden my arrow is really, really good and a massive green. Instead, if you have a look at the Excel spreadsheet, just to wrap it up for this game week, we had a pretty okay game week in the yellow instead of 3 really bad game weeks in a row. Our rank went down by 4k, which is not the biggest green arrow, but it's a green arrow. 103.8 team value now, which is always good to see that increasing. And as you can see there, Taylor bench went Cash instead as a bit of a differential pick, and he got 1 point. That was a 9-point swing. If you have a look at all of that with a little bit more luck, we could have had anywhere between 70 to 90 points this game week. Unfortunately, though, Fantasy Football Premier League isn't always shines and roses, and it's a game that likes to give you some hope and then rip it out your heart. And unfortunately, it's been the way for the last few weeks. Nice to be on the good side of of some luck somewhere this week, but I think that good luck was more that I got a green arrow in a week where if I made a couple of better decisions and a bit of better finishing from my players, we have a monstrous return. Do want to speak about Son quickly as well. This is why you keep him. He is elite. Spurs haven't been as bad. Son on a 10-pointer, obviously, and if it wasn't for the own goal, gets a massive return. I do think he's captainable this game week. Now, deadline, Wednesday the 6th of December at 4:30 in the morning for me. That means that it's probably the 5th for a lot of you guys. Make sure you know we're in December. There's going to be a lot of midweek fixtures. I did make 2 transfers last week, which was Palmer in and Mbeumo in. Mbeumo returned. Palmer got benched because apparently had a little niggle, which I wish I knew about because I would have went somewhere else instead. But I'm happy I got Palmer for the long term of his fixtures. As you can see on this screen now, if I don't make him captain, I do this and go to fixtures. I get Man United, which he was probably rested for. And look, I think Palmer's fantastic. And this fixture run upcoming to the game week 21, Liverpool, and then Wolves and Palace. So game week 24 really is just so delightful that I can't wait to see what Palmer do and watch Chelsea with a little bit more interest. In terms of the team, though, as it stands, Arsenal against Spurs, and it's mainly because Turner and Fulham obviously aren't playing, because Turner's not playing at all. Everton for Trippier, Guehi's got Bournemouth, and Tsimikas got Sheffield. From what we've seen with Liverpool, we're hoping for attacking returns from Tsimikas, as well as a clean sheet. There's a world where Guehi does keep a clean sheet. Palace do have a decent defence, and obviously I do back, Newcastle to probably keep a clean sheet against Everton, who have been scoring, but from what you've seen of Trippier, he can get an attacking return. I think the midfield five picks itself. Son, Palmer. If Gordon's unfit, I'm going to bring Taylor in for Wolves, and just it is what it is. Mbeumo and Salah, and that's mainly because Gordon long term is great. If he is a little niggle and he is on the bench, and so be it. You're still going to get a very good 5.7 mil asset who's playing up front, playing on the left, is getting on the end of Trippier assists. I'm not selling Gordon for probably the whole season unless he gets a long-term injury. The rest of the midfield picks itself if they're fit. And obviously, I'm not selling Darwin after one bad week. You take the good with the bad. There is a world where Darwin does get rotated out the team, but I still would take 30 minutes of Darwin Núñez, then say Archer against Liverpool, Taylor against Wolves, because I think that 30 minutes against Sheffield with tired legs could equal Darwin going bang, 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 as we saw against Newcastle earlier this season when we were down to 10 men. With that being said, that is what the team looks like. I've got one free transfer, and there's a couple ways to spend it. As you can have a look at Hub, it's a 93 game week rating, 95% long term. And there's a couple of things we could think about. A, we can roll for two transfers. That's what I'm planning on doing. But we do need to discuss the goalkeepers, and there is one that we really need to discuss, and it's Dubravka. So Pope went down with what looks like a dislocated shoulder. Last time he did this, he needed surgery, and he was out for 3 months. If we can get a 3.9 mil playing goalkeeper from Newcastle, who's arguably the best defence in the league along with Arsenal, we're going ham. I know that takes me to free Newcastle assets. It means I can't get to Isak, however you want to say it, anytime in the future. But I think with Newcastle being so defensively solid and an attacking option of Gordon, who's been so good, I am very happy to get to Dubravka. What that means is I can actually move it for Turner, and anytime that I think the fixture is better for Areola, even though I don't trust the West Ham defence, I can still play Areola. It also means that I could go to Turner to Dubravka, still save money, and then look to maybe move Areola down long term as well if we know that Pope's out for a long while. That's one move. And the reason why I'm thinking about making that move right now is it means I avoid Spurs this game week, where I think West Ham will ship a few goals. And it means I get Dubravka in for Everton, but it doesn't mean I get 2 transfers next week, and I don't like that. And you already know I'm thinking about getting Levi Colwill in here as well. It is a move that I'm thinking of, but I'm actually thinking of doing a double move next week, or I'm thinking of actually not doing that move, leaving it with Guehi. Maybe leaving it with Guehi, I'm not sure. The reason I want to discuss is I want to go from Cash to Reece James. I just think as much as I know Reece James can get injured and Reece James can get rotated, with the fixture one we've seen with Palmer on my screen, and no one's keeping clean sheets, I want to take the upside of the attacking returns. You saw what Trippier did with an attacking return and a clean sheet. Saw what Trent did this morning in a crazy game at Anfield. I think if you can get the most attacking defender from Chelsea who should be nailed, I think that's a really, really good signing. And the reason why I wouldn't want it to be Levi Colwill, in the team as well and triple up, is I would be tempted to go to Sterling if he got suspended and then came back. And what I would do there is maybe Mbeumo. I don't think I would, but it does give me the option that if I want to drop a Son or there's an injury or something like that, then I could maybe move to Sterling long term as well. I could also lock myself out, which is something that I'm tempted to do here as well. The thing is then what would you do with the other option? I guess we could bench Guehi for then. Instead of having Colwill here, it would be Guehi. But there's no other real defenders that you would really go for. Like, Arsenal defenders aren't getting good fixtures until game week 19, because I'm not getting them this game week, which means I'm not going to any one of them, which means what I could do is actually go and make this Pedro Porro. And what that gives me is 1.5 in the bank, 2 aggressive options. Porro comes out this week and it'll be Reece James, because I don't know why the game says Reece James doesn't play minutes. He does, right? And then the week after, I've got Porro against Forest and Everton incoming. I've got James against Sheffield and Wolves. And it also means that I can bench Tsimikas for Man United and Arsenal moving forward. And that's what I'm thinking. And it still keeps me 1.5 mil in the bank. So you'd have a look at this. You bring Pedro Porro in, but it's for Newcastle. Move the 2 transfers. Reece James next. The rest of the team stays as it is. The week after, as much as I don't like Man United and I don't think they're great, I do back them to probably do a job against us. All of a sudden, have a look at that team there. That team there on paper, and with rolling, is very, very good. Because in game week 17, you now go Areola for now, but I actually think this is a week where you bring in Dubravka, to be fair. I think you bring in Dubravka for this run. So you bring in Dubravka, right, for Fulham as a free transfer, which means I would probably do this, which is fine. And I would have Dubravka and Trippier against Fulham, Porro against Forest for attacking returns, Reece James against Sheffield, one of the worst teams to be in the league. And then you got Son, Salah, Gordon, Mbeumo, Palmer, Haaland, and Darwin. And that is a team that is incredible. The week after, I've only got 2 benchable players, and that's Haaland. And that week, Taylor has Fulham, so you just take what you take. And Tsimikas has Arsenal, so for Mbeumo. In that game week, though, I have Trippier and Dubravka against Luton. I have Porro against Everton, James against Wolves, Taylor against Fulham. Tsimikas could probably come out by this game with 1.6 in the bank. And this is a week where you could really, 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 really be tempted to move Tsimikas to a more attacking option. And I know this might be crazy, but I honestly think Estupiñán in this game week has Crystal Palace, does he not? If he's back and he's playing, he's the most attacking player in the league, which means I could do this to Estupiñán. And that's game week 18 of me having a back 5 of Luton, Everton, Wolves, Palace, Fulham. With a goalkeeper playing against Luton. With Son, Salah, Gordon, Palmer, Darwin. With Haaland and Mbeumo on the bench. And what that will do is allows me then to play the fixtures moving forward for the really aggressive assets of Trippier, Porro, James, Estupiñán. And it's a bit of a throwback to a couple of years ago where defenders got big points and the midfielders didn't. But the midfielders getting big points at the moment has been Palmer statistically, Gordon, Salah, Son. I know I'm missing Saka, but it is what it is. And if I'm missing Saka, I could move one of these guys out to fund that. What I could also do in this game week is maybe go to a cheaper defender and allow me to try and find a way to get to Saka from Mbeumo, but I don't think I want to do that moving forward. You got to miss out on one, and I think it's Saka. And then in game week 19, all of a sudden, when the blank's gone and we've sorted everything, right? You've got Areola, Trippier, James, Porro, you name it. Don't know when Estupiñán's meant to come back, by the way. That might be... I've just clicked on his name because I know he's the most attacking. Estupiñán is back. I know on return date, muscle injury, okay. But he might not be back. And that throws that plan into disarray. But that's what I want. And then look, after the blank, you got Haaland against Everton, Darwin against Burnley, Brighton, Forest and Wolves, Palace, double Palace, Trippier and Porro play Brighton and Forest, which is fine. And, you know, Dubravka's got Forest as well. You've got such a good team on paper that I think those are my moves moving forward. So, to recap, I'm rolling this game week more than likely. I'm going to wait for Dubravka. In 16, I'm going to go to Reece James and Pedro Porro. In 17, I'm going to go to Dubravka. In 18, in the blank, I'm going to probably move Tsimikas to Estupiñán. And then in game week 19, we are going to roll the transfer. That's all dependent on if Estupiñán is going to be fit and firing and available. If not, we might leave this still with Tsimikas. Or what we might do is actually move to another defender that might have a better fixture as well. It may be a week that we take a punt on the Destiny Udogie. It might be the week that we actually go for, Colwell and triple up in this game week against Wolves. Or, you know, we try and see who Sheffield United's playing. They're playing Aston Villa. This might be a game week that we actually pick a Villa defender, but I'll probably go for one of their 4.5 mil options instead of Matty Cash. That will actually give me a little bit of funds in the bank to fund future moves of maybe getting another Arsenal defender in, etc. I just don't want to bring an Arsenal defender in as they play Liverpool and need to play him in this game week because I'm not playing Archer. With that being said, I'm actually going to save that as a plan moving forward. I think that's a very good click around. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed it and that's made sense. I feel like the team's in a good spot. If those moves go to plan and there's not too many injuries and we don't forget about deadlines, which I hope you guys don't, I think think we're in a very good spot to assault getting inside the top 25k and consolidating to be inside the top 25k come game week 22, 23. As players go away for AFCON, we look to sell Salah and Son and maybe bring in some differentials to really launch up the ranks while they're away, and then look at routes to get them back in game weeks 24 and 25. With that being said, I'll see you guys next time. Thank you very much. You go and follow the links down below. Of course, my Football Manager stuff is popping off. Until then, thank you and goodbye.